lesson plan. We had to choose a topic to teach to the kids, and I suggested poetry. And one of the older ladies in my group started going off at me, telling me about how boring and old-fashioned and irrelevant poetry is to the students. She asked me what the point of poetry is. I thought, oh lady, you just asked the wrong person. But okay, let's look at the other options. A novel is defined as a fictitious prose narrative of book length, typically representing character and actions with some degree of realism. A short story is a story with a fully developed theme, but significantly shorter and less elaborate than a novel. But poetry is the picture worth 1,000 words. It's all the songs you've ever heard. It's the flight of a flock of birds. Don't mock. It's the beat of all their wings. It's the bell that rings, the voice that sings, the crowns of kings. It's all these things and more. But I'll try not to bore you and instead implore you that I speak true so that you'll see through what you thought you knew about what poetry is. It's not mine or his or hers. It's the tear that blurs my vision. The fear that slurs has risen in me, feeling stirs, emotion spurs, motion occurs. She probably prefers her literature simpler, a fixture of form and function instead of this mixture of conjunction and compunction, where I lay bare my own dysfunction. Words are fun, but I try and avoid seduction and instead make a deduction. If time is a river, death the cold hand to make you shiver. If love is a choice, wedded to action, then I guess poetry is the voice, the reaction to the things that we experience. It's more than its appearance. Poetry defies definition, grants permission to this admission that it's my heart's war of attrition with my mind, but you will find that my mission still hasn't changed. It just takes me a sec to get my thoughts arranged. You ask me what poetry is. Poetry is when I was driving in the mountains and saw a breathtaking vista, waterfalls and fountains, and turned to my sister and said, it's odd, for some reason it kind of makes me angry, a bit peeved. And she says, it's because no matter how beautiful it is, eventually we have to leave. Poetry is when I'm dreading every class at uni, thinking freaking high school teaching, what for? And in the span of a week, I met not one, or two, or three, or four teachers who all looked at me and said, what would I do if I wasn't teaching? Now, I'd be dead. Call it fate, God, the universe. Poetry is the things you can't rehearse. It was when this lady came into work one day, and I still remember the way she looked left and right as if she would run on sight. I asked, is everything alright? It's okay, I don't bite. She said, what do you make of this text? Handing me her husband's phone, sounding more than vexed. Room is ready whenever. I'm upstairs waiting. Wink, smiley face. My mind starts to race. What do I say? She begins to lay out in front of me his alleged infidelity, and incredibly, I find myself giving advice, just trying to be nice. I told her, communication is key. But look at me. You said you have a daughter, right? And I see in you a mother's might. First, make sure she knows she's loved, no matter what, and everything will be alright. I don't remember exactly what I said, but at the end my face was red. And now see, that whole month was kind of rough for me. I had some trouble with my dad and family, and it felt like hardship enough for three. But poetry is what that lady said to me. She first thanked me for the time that I'd allowed. And I could have handled if maybe she'd said, your mum would be so proud. Or if maybe she told me, one day you're going to make a girl very happy, even if it sounded a bit sappy. I could have handled those compliments, or any other. But what she said instead was, one day, you're going to make an amazing father. Poetry is how that lady couldn't have known just how tired I'd grown. How what she had said had fed me exactly what I needed. Don't thank me, I said. I give my thanks to you, I pleaded. Poetry isn't just haikus and sonnets and pretty little old-fashioned bonnets. It's the flight of comets. It's soaring rockets. It's modest artists. It's honest compliments and passing comments. It's what I look forward to on the last Tuesday of every month. Woo!